Recently, the warrior journalist Jackson Hinkle had Yves Engler on his show to talk about his February arrest by Montreal police for X-posts. The discussion was cordial and professional. Then, the woke leftist attack mob cancelled Yves Engler for daring to associate with Jackson Hinkle because the latter spreads pro-Russian disinformation as well as anti-LGBTQ propaganda. Yves Engler kowtowed to pressure by releasing a statement that reads,
Throughout my decades of activism, I've taken every opportunity to speak the truth and to spread my anti-imperialist message. When presented a chance to educate an audience I wouldn't otherwise reach, I've often made use of platforms that I disagree with. I want to be clear that I do not in any way support Jackson Hinkle. His bigoted views are antithetical to everything the left stands for. The Yves Engler campaign will continue to oppose all forms of bigotry as we work towards the goal of building a just and fair society. An injury to one is an injury to all is not just a slogan. It's a non-negotiable principle that I have upheld throughout my lifetime of activism. Every marginalized person has a home within this campaign. We stand firmly opposed to anybody who expresses hateful beliefs or who makes common sense with the far right. Together, we can build a prosperous and fair Canada that's free from housing insecurity, free from poverty, free from student debt, and free from the shackles of marginalization. I hope you'll join us.
Yves Engler clearly demonstrates himself to be a coward who cowers to bourgeois sensibilities and speech codes. He is an activist who has now shifted to opportunism, a common thing for activist types who get courted by NGOs and the establishment. He cares more about being respectable in the eyes of the NDP labor aristocracy and bureaucrats who ultimately serve bourgeois and state interests. Unlike the NDP, which tails the Liberal Party, the American Communist Party is built on a fundamentally independent stance, wanting to win sovereignty for the working class of both Canada and the USA. The woke left neglects the fact that the way to win socialism is through a mobilized and educated working class that can win a total political revolution. The woke left chooses to surrender itself to the LGBTQ mafia and other liberal institutions. By doing this, they neglect the fact that the main demographic of a revolutionary force has been and always will be military-aged working-class men. All demographics should be welcome and are welcome in the ACP, but ultimately kowtowing to bourgeois sensibilities and speech codes is political castration and counter-revolutionary behavior. LGBTQ has become a sort of civil religion in Canada. It's pushed on children in schools, which offends the sensibilities of the vast majority of the public. It is fundamentally an anti-popular and elitist stance. As for the Russia-Ukrainian war, the woke leftists in Canada have demonstrated themselves to be Azovite fascists. In my blog piece titled The Fate of the Empire of Lies, which was written for a university course on the economics of war during the first summer of the Russia-Ukrainian war, I argue and I demonstrate that the war broke out because Russia was defending the territorial sovereignty of its allies, the Donbass People's Republics, from the reactionary and chauvinistic forces of the Euromaidan coup, the Azovite Nazis and the right sector fascists. Meanwhile, in Canada, we spend taxpayer money to Ukraine, a population in which 70% wants an end to the war through peace negotiations to further the goals of NATO imperialism. How is this fact celebrated in the halls of Ottawa? They gave a standing ovation to Yaroslav Hunka, a Ukrainian Nazi war veteran likely involved in the massacres of Jews and Poles. The woke left in Canada are nothing but an Azovite force for imperialism. The NDP, along with the Liberal and Conservative parties, are imperialist partisans. Together, they are the administrators of Canadian imperialist finance capital and serve the vested interests of finance and rentier monopolies. Yves Engler is also an eco-socialist, a political doctrine that is a fake to socialism and is rather a form of environmental austerity. It centers itself on a sham socialist economy organized for the rational and planned degrowth of the economy and rationing for subsistence use. Eco-socialists are the far left of the World Economic Forum. They want you to live in a pod and eat the bugs in the name of some sham socialism. They do not want the advancement of the forces of production and the acceleration of industrial society to create a people's livelihood and social harmony. The socialism of the American Communist Party instead stands for the end of de-industrialization and financialization of the economy. We stand for a fundamentally sovereign and industrious workers' republic, the real aim of socialism. If the Yves Engler eco-socialists end up leading the NDP, God help us all.
Sing and be happy. You have given all of your power to me. Because you are too afraid to live free. This is Kauschwab and I'm here to say you must give more of your rights away. Your sacrifice is the only remedy for the real pandemic. We must prepare for an angrier world as Agenda 2030 is unfurled. You will eat the bugs sitting in the metaverse. You will comply and it will get worse.